Good afternoon, everybody. I've got a Rectoverb 25 here that I'm still getting used to it. I've had it about 3 weeks, and it does have a really unique sound. You know, I'm after collecting some things that sound really different from other things I have. And this definitely, this rectifier circuit does have a unique tone. Now, like the other Mark V I had, the other Mesa, there's something about the upper end of this, the tone, that just tends to grate on me a little bit. So I'm going to try a new set of preamp tubes right there, some ECC 331s or ECC 81s. Right there, ECC 81. We'll put those two in, just a tad less gain, because I notice when I roll off my guitar volume that that frequency or whatever it is kind of goes away. So I thought I'd take you along for the ride. We'll get into this thing. I'll show you what it looks like inside, and then I'll let you know. So the chassis comes out easier than on most amps I've pulled apart. 4 screws on the top, and you do have to disconnect one of the reverb jacks connectors. Other than that, though, it comes out real easy, no problems. Layout is, for the most part, kind of standardized. Not a lot of transistors, though, which is kind of unique. All the resistors are 5-band resistors, which is a really high value resistor. That's nice. Made in USA caps, really large caps. Orange drop, I think those are called orange drop, but nice orange drop, labeled Mesa. But I've also heard if you buy enough of anything, you can have your own name on it. Like I could have an old guy jamming battery if I wanted to buy enough batteries. But a few transistors, one there, one there, one there. But the rest of this is all analog transistor, and you know, transistors are analog too. You get into the CMOS, the FETs, and you get more on the digital side of things, but transistors work on analog signals. So just because it has a transistor doesn't mean it's got some digital aspects. Transistors go way back and are still heavily used in analog things. But I don't see any ASICs, I don't see any relays, I don't see any controllers, I don't see any, digital brains in here for the most part. Nicely laid out. The other thing about this amp that bothers me a little bit is I have to run the treble and the presence when it's on the dirty side. I have to run those both up almost to the max to get the kind of tone I want, to get enough brightness out of it. And that's a concern. I'd like to run it more balanced. These are the 2 gain pots right here. So I'm wondering if these are, I did read somewhere that they had some bright caps across the gain pots on in the Mesa, and I could fool around with the values of those, perhaps, to get more brightness out of it. So if anybody knows anything about that, that'd be great. The V1, V2, and then there's 4 more additional preamp tubes and or effects loop, reverb tubes, rectifier tube. This is a full rectifier. Output tubes are back here and probably mounted to the chassis, but I'm not sure. All right, input output jacks, reverb controls. Anyway, that's it. Nice looking circuit board. Nicer than some. Still, the Igniter stuff is really the best I've seen. But this is a really nice quality circuit board. Nice and thick. Very nice traces. I like that the font they used is like Kid Write. I don't know if I can focus on this. It looks like you would have written it. So it all looks handwritten, which is kind of fun. But I'll be asking somebody about C10 and C7 to see if those might be bright caps across these gain pots. Because I would like the whole thing to be a little bit brighter. All right, so I'm going to replace these 2 with just these ECC 81s, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, that went really well. It super easy to work on. It fits on top of the amp, the cabinet, and then this can just flip up too like this, and it still sits inside on the supports, the wood shelf supports and whatnot. But a couple of interesting things. There are this shielding that covers some relays. So there are some relays in here. Not a big deal though, but some shielding that's grounded. It's kind of interesting. And then right here in the center is a big old bolt. It doesn't want to turn, and it goes through to the other side. There's nothing attached to it whatsoever, but it's there, and it just sits there, which is really curious. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm happy. Where are you? There you are. I'm happy, you're happy, we're all happy. So it certainly didn't hurt. I'll keep playing with it, but it certainly didn't hurt. And I think I like the difference it's made, although subtle. You're not going to hear anything on YouTube, but I'm playing it, I'm enjoying it, and my ears aren't hurting. And it's not hurting because it's too loud. It's hurting because there's something about the frequency, just like the Mark V. There was something about it irritated me. But so ECC 81s in the V1, V2, and then I think for some reason I think the effects loop is clearer. I was noticing earlier, or in the past few weeks, that the effects loop didn't seem as transparent as some of the amps that I have that have not digital, but non-tube buffered effects loops. When I play a loop and then lead over it, there was some cloudiness in the Mesa, but I don't hear that today. I'm not hearing that today. I compared it to the Randall and the Marshall, and they're just so crystal clear when you run a loop and lead over it. It's, there's differentiation between the tones. Anyway, so going to be working on a reverb switch mod to have one Mesa pedal work the reverb and this channel switching. And I think I may come up with something so you can use your Marshall pedal, since it's already been modded with that switch, to use, so you can use it with Marshall and or a Randall head or some other deal. I'm going to go ahead and I think use that switch. We'll see if it'll work out for channel switching and reverb on the Mesa rectifier. Okay, out. Happy modding.